Okay, so I'll admit this video is a little misleading. Who hasn't heard of Call of Duty? Even my non-gamer roommates know about Call of Duty, but this year's game in the franchise is peculiar, to put it mildly. Here's everything you need to know about modern warfare. The game is being developed by Infinity Ward, the creators of the very first Call of Duty. Founded in 2002 by Vince Zampella, Grant Collier, and Jason West, they brought along 19 other team members from their previous studio, 2015 Inc., the studio behind Medal of Honor Allied Assault, the third game in the Medal of Honor franchise. To help the studio get on its feet, publisher Activision invested money into it, buying up 30% of the company. Call of Duty was designed as a different kind of shooter, one that focused on fighting as a part of a squad. It also marked a massive leap in enemy AI for video games. Things like suppressive fire, flanking, and dynamic movement between cover were all introduced in the game via software dubbed Conduit. It was a game that changed the first-person shooter landscape forever and laid the foundation for arguably the biggest franchise in video game history. The day after the game's release in 2003, Activision purchased Infinity Ward in its entirety, having them immediately begin development on a sequel, Call of Duty 2, a launch title for the Xbox 360. This saw the introduction of regenerating health and grenade indication, as well as improvements upon the already exceptional AI. Since the Xbox 360 was the only console of the new generation to release in 2005, Activision had developer Treyarch work on Call of Duty 2 Big Red One, a separate game for PS2, GameCube, and the original Xbox. Treyarch then went on to make Call of Duty 3, a launch title for the PlayStation 3, as Infinity Ward began work on the fourth game, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The first Call of Duty to move away from a World War II setting, the team decided to center the game around a fictional conflict in the present day. The game included new features such as bullet penetration and dynamic physics. The way multiplayer worked was also massively overhauled with the inclusion of kill streaks and loadouts. Activision turned to Treyarch to develop the next game in the series, World at War, which returned to World War II, whilst Infinity Ward got busy working on Modern Warfare 2. It was around then that founder Grant Collier left Infinity Ward to work directly for Activision, and the following year, 2010, would shake up the entire team. The success of the franchise had created a rift between the developer and the publisher. In short, Infinity Ward saw Call of Duty as their game, where Activision felt like they had total ownership over the series. The internal conflict came to a head when Zampella and West were fired for breach of contract, having met with rival publisher EA to help with their own first-person shooter franchise, Battlefield, at the detriment of Modern Warfare 2. The pair then filed a lawsuit against Activision due to royalties they believed to be owed to Infinity Ward. This was followed by an additional lawsuit by former and current employees, whom also claimed they were owed bonuses that Activision had failed to pay, as a way to force the devs to remain on to develop a third Modern Warfare. Both lawsuits were settled out of court and resulted in almost half of all Infinity Ward's employees departing to join West and Zampella at their new studio, Respawn Entertainment, a developer we'll dive deeper into when we discuss the upcoming game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in another video. When the dust had all settled, the team behind Modern Warfare 3 was extremely different, a somewhat Frankenstein build between the new Infinity Ward and the recently christened Sledgehammer Games with assistance from Raven Software. Whilst this situation made for a rocky development, it still resulted in a wildly successful product, even if some review outlets deemed it more iterative than innovative. The team went on to produce Ghosts and Infinity Warfare, as Treyarch's Black Ops series started to step into the limelight as the face of Call of Duty. 2019's Modern Warfare, in some ways, is a reboot for not only the series, but for Infinity Ward itself. The game will feature a new narrative, starring many of the characters from the previous installments, including Captain Price. The story is supposedly a more mature one, putting the player in uncomfortable situations, assisted by the added realism from the new engine that allows for more detailed environments, advanced audio, and even ray tracing on consoles. Players at the end of each mission will be given a rank from A to F on how well they performed in reducing collateral damage. This ties into the new player and tactical choices being implemented, altering the dialogue and the way missions unfold. The game is a controversial but bold step for the developer. Even just watching the behind closed doors demo at E3 earlier this year had me squirming in my seat. We'll soon find out if this direction for this series is the right one when Modern Warfare releases on October 25th.